All right, Dr. Deb is a naturopathic doctor and a counselor of natural health. She's a certified health minister with the Back to the Garden Health Ministry as well as a professional wellness coach. Deb has worked for 15 years teaching health through nutrition in Gainesville, including teaching vegan cooking classes. Her passion is equipping people to live happy, healthy, and vibrant lives. And in addition to being a personal mentor and educator for me and for the folks she knows, she is also a very passionate and devoted mom and grandmom, as you will hear from her talk. So we can go ahead and welcome Dr. Deb.
Thank you so much for being here. It is my pleasure to be able to share with you tonight. And hopefully you will feel that it's worth your time. People are like sheep being led to a slaughter, but not you. There's some tea here. Go ahead and fill out. Okay, restart. People are like sheep being led to the slaughter with our health, but not you because you're here tonight. My mission and job is to help you break away from the flock and experience abundant health. Is that what everybody wants? Thank you. As Albert Schweitzer said, we must all die, but that I can save him from days of torture. That is what I feel as my great and ever new privilege. That is my passion, to help people avoid torture, to help people live not only a long life, but a high-quality life. How many would agree that life without quality is not something that we really want to strive for, right? Right. And you see people that really, midlife or later in life, just really don't have quality. They're not able to get around and do the things they want to do. I want to help you live well and long. And I believe the tips that we talk about tonight will help you. Did you realize that your body is a self-healing mechanism? Yes? Yes. And did you also realize that the only thing that heals the body is the body itself? Did you know that? Drugs don't heal you, nutrition doesn't heal you, acupuncture doesn't heal you, your body heals itself. What some of those things do is put your body in a state that it can actually do its job. The problem isn't that there's a fault in the design of the body. The problem is there's a fault in the maintenance of the body. And oftentimes what I find is people take more care for that car that sits out in that parking lot than they do for this vehicle that carries them around on planet Earth. My goal for you tonight is to help you to take personal responsibility for your health. We hear a lot about prevention in our world. You know, with the whole healthcare situation and all of that, we hear the word prevention thrown around. With things like mammography and early testing and all of that. That is not prevention, by the way. That is early detection. And there's a big, huge difference between prevention and early detection. What I'm talking about tonight is prevention. To prevent you from getting to that disease state in the first place. I believe that as long as there's breath in the body, that there's time to make changes. I can tell you that I have worked personally with stage 3 and stage 4 cancer patients who are alive and well today with no chemo or radiation. They got over their disease by getting their body back into the state that it can heal itself. Therefore, there's no reason to be without hope. No matter where you are with your health tonight, we can always make changes. The results of our current system aren't really very good. What is the definition of insanity? Does anybody know?
Doing the same thing over and over.
Doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result, right? Would you agree possibly that that's where we are with our health in America? We're doing the same thing over and over and we're wanting to get a different result, and that's called insanity. And a good picture of what insanity looks like is a woman went to work on Monday morning with her ears faded. And her boss said, "My gosh, what happened to you?" And she said, "Well, I was ironing and the phone rang." And he said, "Well, what happened to the other ear?" And she said, "They called back." Now that's insanity, right? I think that's insanity, but that's what we're doing in America with our health, and other places in the world as well, but we're really focused on our country tonight. So let's look at America's health checkup. Here's the results of our current system. See if you think these are good results. In a nutshell, we are overfed but undernourished. Overfed but undernourished. We have a micro deficiency in our country. A micronutrient deficiency. 1 in 3 people live with some form of cardiovascular disease. It is still the #1 killer of both men and women. 1 in 3 women will develop cancer in her lifetime. And 1 in 2 men will develop cancer in his lifetime. 1 in 3 people will develop diabetes by 2050. And 1 in 3 Americans are obese. 116 million people are living with chronic pain every day. I don't know if you've ever experienced chronic pain, but it does not feel well. And it can really affect your functioning ability. Our U.S. national healthcare expenditures are approaching $3 trillion with a T dollars a year. Trillion. We can't even fathom how much that is. And hence, we are in this horrible mess with healthcare, and it's bankrupting our nation. Our children aren't doing much better. By age 12, many of our children have already developed the beginning stages of hardening of the arteries. Now, girls, how old are you all? 13. So these young ladies over here, a lot of their peers have already developed beginning stages of hardening of the arteries. That's horrible. That is not the way it's supposed to be. 1 in 3 children is obese. More than 25% of our children take prescription drugs on a regular basis. And the American Academy of Pediatrics recommends that children as young as 8 years old can be treated with cholesterol-lowering statin drugs. I don't know about you, but that makes me angry. Does that not make you angry when you hear those kind of statistics? People are like sheep being led to a slaughter. And I'm angry about it. And my passion is to do as much as I can to make a difference. We are literally digging our graves with our forks. Illness affects us financially as well. And that's why we're in the shape we are. It's very expensive to be sick. And it's going to be more and more expensive as we go along. So we want to really do something. My encouragement for you tonight is to begin with the end in mind. How many have read Stephen Covey's book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People? That's one of the 7 habits. Begin with the end in mind. Unfortunately, we often don't do that. We're focused only on today. We're a very instant gratification society, and it's killing us. We're going to talk about gambling versus investing tonight. The person on the left is a gambler, and the person on the right is an investor. Now, what would a gambler look like? A gambler is a person who thinks that what they do today is not going to have any repercussions in the future. They think that their genes are their destiny, and they have no control. Gamblers go along their merry way and say, I'll deal with it tomorrow. I don't have to worry about it today. And what's happening is they get down to point B, and they wonder why they're in the shape they are. And it's because they gamble. So when you gamble, you're basically saying, I'm going to trust that this bad habit's never going to catch up with me. And that's gambling. I don't feel comfortable being a gambler. We have 5 kids. This is my son Enrique with Look Through Publishing videoing tonight. And he is the youngest. We have our seventh grandchild's on the way. And I love playing with my grandkids. I just spent last week for about 5 days babysitting the 2-year-old. And let me tell you, she is a live wire. And I took her to the park, and she's up and down and all this stuff. And guess what? I was right there with her. I was climbing up all that stuff. She even, of course, she's very bossy at 2. And she told me to climb up this kind of like a rope climbing thing. She's, telling me to do it, and I can't say no to her, so I did it. But how many people that are approaching 60 like I am can actually do that? A lot can't. Well, guess what? I not only want to do it now, but I want to do it when I'm 80. Because we're going to have lots more grandkids, right, Enrique? And I want to be able to play with them. I hope by the end of this hour, if you aren't already an investor, that you will choose to be an investor. We can't blame our genes, even though oftentimes we want to blame our genes. Oh, it's in my family. Diabetes is in my family. This, that, and the other is in my family. Guess what? Diabetes is in my family. My mom had it. A couple of my brothers have it. There's 6 of us. My 2 older brothers have it. And the 4 younger, well, I guess not necessarily 4 younger, but the 4 of us that are plant-based don't have diabetes. We have the same genes. Do you think there might be something to that? Of course there is. Your genes are not your destiny. Your DNA is not your destiny. And Dr. Caldwell Campbell said, genes load the gun, lifestyle pulls the trigger. So if you have some dreaded disease in your family, you don't have to be worried and say, oh, it's going to happen to me. You have the power. Good nutrition turns off your genetic, good nutrition and lifestyle, we will be talking about fully lifestyle, turns off your genetic potential. And bad, unhealthy lifestyle choices turn your genetic potential on. So you basically have a switch that you can turn on or off your genetic potential. Dr. Bill Sears, and those of you who have young kids probably know who Dr. Bill Sears is. He says that over 70% of diseases are preventable. Wow, that is awesome. Now, there are things that we cannot control, like certain things in our environment and other things, but let's control the things that we can, right? And invest in our wellness. I have a question for you. What does health look like for you? I'm going to ask you that. Who wants to volunteer? What does health mean to you?
Vibrant and active and healthy and feeling like you can do what you want to do.
Excellent. Being vibrant and active and feeling like you can do what you want to do, like going to Christmas, right?
Yeah, very nice.
Who else? What does health look like?
Taking control, not always listening to what's told. Like I told my guy over 10 years ago, and I'm still here learning and do stuff. So I think that you have to have a mindset to not always take in what somebody tells you.
Yeah, not accept your sentence, so to speak. Yep. Who else? Like Howard said, me being able to play with my grandkids. Y'all are quiet. Come on. I need you to wake up. What does health look like to you at a young age? Physically fit and strong, and I know you girls are active doing stuff like that. Good for you. Keep it up. Who else? Yes.
Well rested at night, plenty of energy during the day.
Excellent. Well rested at night, plenty of energy.
Living by myself well into my 80s and 90s and not have to depend on anybody else or go into a home or anything like that.
Yes.
Have a good future where I can enjoy my life until I die.
That's it. Enjoy your life until you die. Yes.
At 85, women help up on a regular basis, and nothing down my volleyball game. Red dog.
85, and she is 85. I can vouch for that. Jumping up and down at your granddaughter's volleyball games. How cool is that at 85? How many of you want that?
Yes.
Absolutely. So those are all really good things, and I appreciate you sharing them with me. Being healthy and vibrant, that's me. I really don't want to have to depend on my daughter to take care of me when I'm older, or have somebody give me showers or whatever. I mean, none of us want that, I don't think. We have to realize that in order to not have that down the road, we must invest in our wellness. And obviously you care about that because you're here. Do you realize that symptoms are your friends? Symptoms are simply your body's warning system telling you there is a problem here. You need to make some changes. They are messengers. Unfortunately, what we do in our typical world is we just want to shoot the messenger. And you can take drugs and get symptoms to go away, but that doesn't mean you've dealt with the cause of that symptom. What a doctor should do is look at your symptoms and say, okay, what are they trying to tell us here? And that's what I do. Okay, what's your body trying to tell you? How's your nutrition? How's your exercise? How's your rest? How's your stress? All of those things impact our health in a big way. You have to ask yourself, am I looking simply for the removal of symptoms, or am I looking to be healthy? Removing symptoms does not equal health. It just means that you shut down the warning system. How many would admit that you are a bit stuck in your health journey? Okay, thank you for those who are honest. In some area of your life, you're a bit stuck. I can say that, with exercise, that's my challenge, making myself get out there and do it every day. Other people, it might be something else. So, how are you stuck? Anybody want to share? What keeps you from doing the things you know to do?
I feel like I don't know how to prepare a lot of these foods and do that. I never learned.
Okay.
So I'm trying to learn, but it's hard to learn everything.
Yeah.
It's hard to find ways.
Well, to relearn what you learned as a child or not just.
Yeah, relearn bad habits, so to speak. Yeah.
What about those fried chicken dinners?
Yeah. Right. All that stuff that tastes right. Yes.
Roast beef.
You need sweets. Okay. Sugar. One of America's top drugs. I would say there's something else too. But I won't mention it because then you couldn't go to Starbucks tomorrow. Yes, Tish.
For me, it's instant gratification. I always kind of want it now as opposed to waiting for the right thing and seeing it later.
Right, instant gratification. That's right. We really are kind of in that mode. So those are some good. What about time? Does anybody use this excuse of time? I hear that a lot. Time. I don't have time. Right. Yeah. Yeah. And you'll see something about exercise in a little bit concerning time that you'll go, oh yeah, I want you to, and that's one of the things that, we use that excuse, but if you don't make time now, you're going to have to make time later. That's the bottom line. How many would agree that it's a little bit confusing, all the health information that's out there? Does anybody feel like it's confusing? Yeah. All you have to do is go to the diet and health section of the bookstore, and there's everything that you could possibly want. You can choose a cookie diet. You can choose a all-protein diet. You can choose a high-protein, low-carb, high-carb, low-protein, vegan, paleo, whatever. Whatever you want is out there. So it's confusing, and tonight we're gonna really clear up a lot of confusion. But it begins with personal responsibility. Who is responsible for your health? If you believe that, I want you to say right now, I am responsible for my health.
I am responsible for my health.
Excellent. So that's all of, sounds like most of you in the room. Did you realize that there is a law of cause and effect that exists in our world? It's kind of like gravity. Let me assure you, if you jump off of a 5-story building and you don't believe in gravity, it will happen. That's the same thing with cause and effect. Whether you believe or not that your health habits have an effect, they will. We have to work with the laws that are in our universe. Sowing and reaping, cause and effect. What we sow, we reap, right? So it's all about personal responsibility. There's only 2 reasons we get sick. Ignorance, and that will be handled tonight. So if you want to keep on having that reason, you got to leave. Or laziness. And that's really where a lot of times we have our downfall, is the laziness aspect, taking this personal responsibility. What if how we treated ourselves really mattered? You could go to the doctor, and this is no slam on doctors, it's unfortunately just not what they're taught. Do we have any doctors in the room tonight? Okay. So it's not a slam on them, they're just not taught nutrition. They aren't. So you go to a doctor and you say, does it matter what I eat? No, not really, just kind of eat a balanced diet. Blah, blah, blah. Well, they just don't know. That would be like going to a mechanic and saying, what kind of fuel does my car need? And them saying, I don't know what kind of fuel your car needs. But that's kind of what it's like. So what if it really mattered? What if we could grow into old age, like you say, vibrant and active, both mentally and physically? My best friend growing up's mother is only 76 years old, and she has Alzheimer's. And I've personally never been around really anybody with Alzheimer's until I've been around her. She was like my second mom growing up. It is horrible. It is so sad. I don't want to do that. I want to know I want to know my kids and grandkids and not know who they are. So it's about being vibrant and active mentally and physically. What if we could turn off our genetic potential with lifestyle? We can. But it's about accepting personal responsibility. Your health is not your spouse's responsibility. Your health is not your parents' responsibility. Your health is not your mother or father or brother or sister's responsibility. Your health is your responsibility. And the way I learned that was way back about 25 years ago. This is my daughter, Christina. And she was in the 1st grade at that point, and we were constantly in the pediatrician's office with upper respiratory stuff. She'd go on antibiotics. A couple weeks later, we'd be right back. At the end of the 1st grade year, the doctor said, I want you to have her tonsils and adenoids out. I immediately screeched on the brakes and said, don't like that idea. Now, I don't tell you this story to make you feel bad if you've had your tonsils or adenoids out, or to make you feel bad if you have your kids' tonsils and adenoids out. This is just part of my story. And so I screeched on the brakes and said, wait a minute. I don't really like the idea, number one, of having her have surgery at this age, but also, I just didn't make sense to me start yanking body parts out. It's like, surely there's some purpose to have tonsils and adenoids. Nope, they got to come out. Well, we didn't buy into that. And what we did was we got her off dairy. We did some homeopathic remedies. And my chiropractor showed me some lymphatic drainage massages to do. She's 30 years old now, pregnant with her 2nd child, and she still has her tonsils and adenoids. And guess what? Tonsils and adenoids are a key component to your immune system. They're often labeled as the last line of defense against cancer. So that was my wake-up call to recognize that me and my family's health was my responsibility. And I had to check it out. The doctor was just going on what she knew. We didn't go back to her because we didn't need to. All right, here we are getting into the tips. Everybody ready for tips? Yeah. And you're thinking, know your purpose. What in the world does that have to do with health? It has everything to do with health. How many of you believe that you're born on this planet for a purpose? Awesome. How many of you know what your purpose is? Much less. That's always the way. My suggestion is that you find out what your purpose is. There are all kinds of purpose finder exercises. There's a book called The Passion Test that will guide you through the process to get you to what your purpose is. We're all born with a purpose. You have to know your life purpose. And oftentimes it's key in getting you to be serious about taking care of yourself. Because when you realize that you have a purpose to be on this planet, you're going to be passionate about fulfilling it, and you're going to want to be healthy so you can fulfill it. Know your life purpose is tip number 1. Again, begin with the end in mind. Not only is it necessary to know your purpose to really be serious often about taking care of yourself. Now, there's some people that don't know their life purpose and they take care of themselves. But I can tell you that if you are challenged with taking care of yourself and doing the right thing, then go figure out what your purpose is and it will help you. Okay? That would be a yes. Yes. So Google Purpose Finder exercise and it'll help you. I told you I'm not letting you all sleep tonight. Tip number 2, power up your produce. This is the number 1 thing I can recommend you do in order to be healthier from a nutritional standpoint. Power up your produce. Do you realize that all of our majority of our health woes boil down to 3 things? Anybody want to guess? Breakfast, lunch, dinner.
Poor eating habits.
3 things: breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And snacks. You got it. We want to eat real food versus edible food-like substances. The majority of the stuff in the grocery store is edible food-like substances. It's not real food. You want to eat food as close to the way nature created it as possible. We live in a processed world. There's actually a documentary called Processed People you can watch on Netflix if you want. We want to eat live food because live food equals live people. Dead food equals dead people. So much of that processed stuff out there is completely void of any nutrition or life force. Do you realize that fruits and vegetables aren't just important, that they're so important they could save your life? And did you also realize that the current recommendation is to eat 9 to 13 servings of fruits and vegetables every day. Kids are supposed to eat 7 to 9, depending on your age. You guys would probably be more closer to 9 because you're 13. Women are supposed to eat 11, and men are supposed to eat 13 servings per day. A serving is something like a piece of fruit, an apple, pear, banana. That's a serving. A cup of leafy greens. A half a cup of things like berries or dense vegetables like carrots. 9 to 13, how do you do that? Power it up. You want to eat lots of GOMBs. Write this down, GOMBBS. These are the best cancer-fighting foods on the planet. Green foods, G. O are onions, things like onions, garlic, leeks, all that fruit. M is mushrooms. Mushrooms actually are very good for preventing cancer. First B is beans or legumes. They're extremely anti-cancer food. The second B is berries. Berries are one of the most nutritious foods on the planet. And the S is seeds. So things like pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, chia seeds, flax seeds. Those are all very nutritionally dense foods. So you want to eat a very high GOMS diet. The more color, the better. So you want vibrant color at your meal. Unfortunately, the standard American diet is very bland. It's brown and white. Meat and potatoes, brown and white. So you want those kind of things on your plate. Colorful foods on your plate. So when you look down at your plate for those 3, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you want them to be colorful. Think of it as art. Food is your best medicine. Not only will it prevent disease, it would also it causes your body to get back into a state of health when it's sick. Now, some people say that, one of the reasons we don't eat well is time. You know that fruit is the best and most quick, fast food on the planet? How hard is it to grab an apple or a banana when you walk out the door? It's so easy. But people say, well, it's hard to wash, I don't have time to wash and prepare all that. Guess what? Go to Trader Joe's. They've got cut up organic broccoli, cut up broccoli slaw, cut up things. Now that's not my best recommendation because once you cut something, it breaks the enzymatic seal and starts to oxidize. But in a pinch, use it. And if your excuse is time, use it. It's got more nutrition than not. So how many would say, well, I don't really like vegetables or fruits? Most people like fruits, but not a lot of people don't like vegetables. Then guess what? Your taste buds regenerate every 21 days. So if you don't like something today, eat it for 21 days and you'll like it. It's true. Try it. Tip number 3, be prepared. This kind of goes in line with that one. Have raw vegetables cut up with hummus. Go buy a packet of hummus and have baby carrots and raw vegetables in the refrigerator ready to go. Have some trail mix, raw trail mix that you make yourself, or just some kind of healthy trail mix ready to go. That's a great fast food. Make meals for the week on the weekend if you work, so that they're there. You can freeze them and then bring them out and heat them up each day. Be prepared, because what happens when you're running late and you don't have time, you're going to drive through the drive-thru or grab the fastest junk food you can find, right? So be prepared and have all of this stuff on hand so that you start those new habits. Next tip to get more vegetables and fruits in your diet is to enjoy a green drink every day. The green drink has become very popular, and all it is simply is typically a fruit smoothie with raw kale or spinach in it. And I can promise you that typically you do not even taste those green vegetables. So that is a great way to get more green, one of those that G in there. Actually, with a green smoothie, you can get the greens and the berries in there all at one time, and even the seeds. Throw chia seeds. This is my favorite recipe. Either unsweetened almond or soy milk, banana, frozen berries, pineapple or mango or one of those other fruits that you like, frozen cherries, a tablespoon of chia seeds, and a big, three big stalks of kale, like it's laying on that table there, or a big couple of handfuls of spinach. That's my favorite recipe. But all you do is just simply vary it based on the fruit that you like and what's available. But the main thing is you want to get the green in there. The next one, sip on soup. I do have recipes at healthpeak.com, by the way. Not smoothie recipes, healthpeak.com. So you can go there for recipes for all kinds of stuff. Healthpeak, H-E-A-P-E-A-K. H-E-A-L-T-H-P-E-A-K.com. Great recipes on there. I've got some soup recipes. Today, here's what happened. I was in a hurry. I had some people coming over for lunch. Donna was one of them, so was Mary Kate, wherever she is. And I was in a hurry, so I just simply grabbed my Vitamix. Anybody have a Vitamix or a high-power blender like that? They're awesome. But I grabbed my Vitamix. I had a can of organic pumpkin. I threw that in, a can of organic coconut milk, some fresh basil from my tower garden, onion, roasted garlic, and some seasonings, and just turned it on. And in 5 minutes, we had a delicious soup.
It looks good.
It was very good. And it took 5 minutes to make. So you do things like that, you have to get creative. Make a big pot of vegetable soup or a pot of veggie chili on Sunday and have it throughout the week. Soup fills you up. It's a great way to lose weight if you make a really nice soup. Soup is very filling, so it's a great thing to have, and it's a good way to get some of those gomes in there, beans and onions and garlic and and greens. So sip on soup. Keep track and get a buddy. Now, how many of you have read the book The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy? Awesome book. If you haven't read it, I highly recommend it. It's not really a nutrition book, it's really a habit book. But the compound effect is the concept that It's those small, seemingly inconsequential things that we do or don't do every day that create this compound effect over time. And it's really a great book. And one of the things he talks about is the compound effect. Oh, Darren Hardy, Hardy. You can go to darrenhardy.com. Great book. You can read the first chapter free. Excellent. This is an example of how the compound effect works. We got 3 guys, right? We got, what's your name?
Randy?
We got Randy, we got Enrique, what's your name?
Dan?
Okay, what?
Dan?
Dan? Randy, Enrique, Dan. Okay, so Randy, let's just pretend you're all young and just married, okay? That's okay, right? So Randy, they all 3 they're young, they get married. Randy just goes along like usual, that doesn't change anything. Enrique decides that he gets, a big flat screen TV and he starts watching the Food Network, and he decides he's gonna, make some of the recipes that they have on there and watch these shows. And so he, in essence, adds about 125 calories to his diet every day. That's not a lot. That's like mayonnaise instead of mustard. 125 calories. And Dan, on the other hand, Dan decides that he's going to start doing simple things like on his way to work, he's going to listen to some personal growth type stuff. He's going to park further back in the parking lot at the store and walk more. He's going to take the stairs at work. And he's going to start using mustard instead of mayo. He's going to cut those 125 calories out of his diet. They go along, and really you don't see much change at all. 18 months, you don't really see a lot. 25 months, not a real measurable difference in the 3 guys. But at 31 months, the change is startling. After 31 months, Randy, he's the same weight because he's done the same exact thing. Enrique, because he's added 125 calories, he is now 31 pounds heavier than he was. This is 31 months. So it's about a pound a month. Or actually 33 pounds. And then Dan, because all of the great changes he did, Dan is 33 pounds less. We're going to assume we need to lose 33 pounds. So now we have 66 pounds difference between Enrique and Dan from those little changes. But you didn't really see it very measurably until month 31. It's kind of like doubling the penny. Would you rather have double a penny for 30 days or $1 million? Double the penny, trust me, it's much better. So that's the compound effect. What happens is, unfortunately, we make these changes and we expect immediate results. Start exercising, it's like, well, I haven't lost any weight, or I haven't noticed this, or haven't noticed that, or you start eating better, or I don't really feel any better, and so you stop. You don't allow the compound effect to take place. So we got to keep track. And I recommend, if you want to lose weight, to get an app called MyFitnessPal. You can get it on a smartphone.
Okay,
You
great.
already have it.
I obviously don't use it.
Well, you can't just have it. You have to use it.
I need to write it down again, I'm sorry.
MyFitnessPal.com. And what that does is it really helps you keep track. Whatever you want to change, you must keep track of it. So if you want to be more financially better, then you want to keep track of your finances, every single penny you spend. If you want to be a better weight, you've got to keep track. So that's what it's all about. It's a pain in the butt to keep track at first, but then you get used to it. I actually was carrying around 10 extra pounds a few months ago that I did not need. And, when I started doing and I eat very healthy, let me assure you, but when I started doing MyFitnessPal app, because my niece had lost 70 pounds and somebody else I knew had lost 55 pounds, and like, what are you doing? And they said MyFitnessPal, so I thought, I gotta do it. I recognized that there were things that I was eating that they were healthy, but there were a lot of calories. And the bottom line is, calories in and calories out is going to determine what you're weighing. And if you take more calories in than go out, you're going to gain weight, period. Doesn't matter what you're eating. So in my smoothie, I was putting 4 of those fat no-fuel dates, which are delicious. And I didn't know it, but when I put them into MyFitnessPal, it was 265 calories. And I went, oh my goodness, that has got to go. And so no more dates in my smoothie. So that's the value of keeping track. Also, if you need to, hire a personal trainer, hire a health coach, whatever it takes. Your health is worth it, and you are worth it. Until you are committed, nothing happens. Getting a buddy to help
Please come to the front desk and lobby. Jim Bonnell, can you please come to the front desk and lobby?
Whatever you want to change, you have to track. Until you are committed, nothing happens, okay? Okay, next tip, move your body. What fits your busy schedule? Being dead 24 hours a day or exercising 1 hour a day? That's where the time thing comes in. So we're going to exercise for an hour a day or be dead 24 hours a day. That's how important exercise is. That just says it right there. Move your body. It's not what exercise you do. It's just that you get out there and do it. It's not important. Doesn't matter. It's the best exercise is the one you'll do, right? So you want to get out and move your body. Exercise does phenomenal things for your body. It tones your muscles and tissues for more effective use of your nutrients and strength, believe it or not. Increases circulation and delivers oxygen to the cells. It removes toxins from your body. It lowers blood pressure and blood sugar. It gives you stronger bones, increased energy, increased mental alertness, better sleep, better digestion. How many are going to exercise tomorrow after hearing all of that? Yeah. It's that important. Make time in your day to do it. And realize that your fitness does not equal your health. I see people that exercise like maniacs and they look great, but they're not healthy. So just because you're physically fit doesn't mean you're healthy. There's plenty of very physically fit people that die of heart attacks. So you got to have all the components of health, not just that one. But we want this one because it's a very important component to health. Next tip, deal with stress and learn to chill. Stress will kill you. Did you know that? It will. I can tell you, if you do all the right stuff and you're maximally stressed out, you're going to be in trouble. Because stress is so hard on the body. So learn to deal with your stress. High stress lifestyles affect the adrenal glands, which produce the stress hormones, adrenaline and cortisol. It's like you're being chased by the tiger all the time. Purdue University actually concluded after a study of 1,600 men that their level and slope of excessive worry interacted in their effect on mortality. Basically, worry shortens your life. It really does. In Scotland, they did 21 years of research on the topic, and they concluded that worry was significantly related to risk of death from cardiovascular disease. So what do? Several ways to deal with stress: yoga, prayer, meditation, walking, doing something to relax, laughing. Laughter's great, but you've got to deal with your stress. Learn to say no and set boundaries. And I don't know if you know this or not, but good is the enemy of great. Learn to say no and set boundaries, or good is the enemy of great. Good is the enemy of great. So some good things that you're doing might be robbing you of great things that you can be doing. So learn to say no and set boundaries, because you don't need to be running like a hamster on a wheel all the time. It will kill you. Incorporate fasting in your life. It can save your life. I recommend juice fasting as a fabulous way to kind of reset the clock. We're gonna do a 3-day juice fast December 2nd through the 5th. If anybody wants to join between Thanksgiving and Christmas, so that we can kind of reset those clocks. So anybody that wants to join us, we lead this. We have a Facebook group, and then you can kind of check in with each other. And it's on my website, I have a whole thing on juice fasting that you can read. The fasting can save your life. You don't have to juice fast. You can do other kinds of fast. You can do a raw food fast. You can fast certain things out of your life. Maybe beer, maybe sugar, alcohol, things that aren't good for you, junk food. You can do a fruit fast. Water fast is a little more challenging. A good thing to do is to once a week skip breakfast and lunch. Just drink water or juice that day. That's a great thing. Because guess what fasting does? It resets your taste buds. It resets your body. It certainly trims your stomach. And it causes you to crave good things. I can promise you that if you do a 7-day fresh juice fast, that at the end of 7 days, a carrot will taste like the best thing since sliced bread. So it's a great way to reset your taste buds. I recommend it highly, and it's a great tip for getting in health. I love what Dr. Joel Fuhrman said. If you want to lengthen your life, shorten your meals. If you want to lengthen your life, shorten your meals. Next tip. It's blinking. What's that mean? My expert's here. But I really need this to work. Okay, the next tip is tips to avoid holiday weight gain. We're getting ready to be at the holiday season, right? In 2 weeks for Thanksgiving. So these are tips to help you avoid the holiday weight gain. Do you realize that the average weight gain at the holidays is 2 to 10 pounds? Now, how many of you all know that weight goes on a heck of a lot easier than it comes off?
Yeah.
And here's what happens. You gain that weight during the holidays, and it doesn't come off. And next year you gain 2 more pounds. And so after 10 years, you gain 20 pounds because of the 12% of the year, which is the holidays. Don't put it off. Don't say, oh, I'll deal with that in January. That's what our tendency is to do. I'm going to wait until January. Don't put it off. This is 12 months of your life. You can't put it off for 12 months of your life. It is the season to be realistic. It's not the time to lose weight, but it is the time to maintain your weight so you don't gain any more. So be realistic and don't set a goal to lose weight during the holidays. Just set a goal to stay the same weight. Get on the scale daily. Again, that is all about accountability. So here's what I recommend. Have a scale in your bathroom. Get up in the morning, go to the bathroom, empty your bladder, and weigh yourself every day. Because what it's going to do is you're going to say, oh my goodness, that party last night, I gained 1 pound. Today I'm going to be really good. If you don't, just go along blindly and say, I'm not going to step on the scale for a whole week, and then you step on the scale and you gain 5 pounds. That can happen, trust me. I went to South America, and they have avocados like on every corner, and I love avocados. They're like $5 or something. I gained 7 pounds in 2 weeks in Peru because of avocados. So you can gain a lot of weight in 1 week. Step on the scales every day so that you're keeping track. Increase your fiber intake and drink lots of water during the day. Junk food that we eat at parties is constipating, and it's also very toxic. Constipation is toxic. So you want to keep those bowels moving, and the way you do it is to eat fiber-rich foods, which are fruits and veggies and whole grains, nuts and seeds. And you want to drink a lot of water throughout the day. That's no matter what, you want to drink a lot of water throughout the day. After a party, make 2 meals only fruit. Why are you going to do that? Because fruits are cleansing. So if you go and you have junk food, the next 2 meals, let them be all fruits. That's a good way to clear out that junk that you indulge in. I'm not telling you to go through the holiday seasons and not have fun, but you can control yourself and still have fun. So eat 2 meals of fruit after junk. Don't attend parties hungry. That is key. So before a party, have a smoothie or have a salad. Have some hummus and veggies. Have an apple. Do anything, but don't go with an empty stomach. Because guess what's going to happen if you go with an empty stomach? Just eat everything inside. That's right. So if you get there and your belly's a little full, also drink several glasses of water before you go. That's important. Then you can have some in moderation. Take healthy dishes that you like. so that you're not tempted to eat the crap that you know you shouldn't. There's a lot of crap at holiday parties, right? So take some dishes that are healthy that you like, and there's plenty out there, and I've got great recipes on the website. There's other recipe sites that you can look at. Appetizers that are delicious but are healthy. Practice awareness. Listen to your body. If you don't feel hungry, don't eat. Let your body tell you when to eat. Stop when you're full. And your brain usually gets a signal long after you're really full, about 20 minutes. So 20 minutes, eat one plate of whatever you're having, and then wait for 20 minutes. You won't be hungry anymore if you let the signal get to your brain. Limit your alcohol intake. It's very dehydrating, and it has tons of calories. So my suggestion is if you go to a party, if you're going to have wine or beer or whatever it is, have a drink and then have a glass of water. A drink, glass of water, drink, glass of water. So that you're not just sitting there guzzling alcohol. Manage stress and emotions. Here we are with this again. Why do I put this on the tips about the holiday? Because how many people get stressed during the holidays? Oh my gosh, it's like this hamster wheel again. But it's like a hamster wheel on steroids during the holidays. I heard someone say that Christmas is one day of the year, but you would never know that, would you? Like, oh, the holidays, it's all year. Thanksgiving. Well, it's the holidays, I can't do it again. Really? So you've got to manage that stress and your emotions. People's emotions get really stirred up at holidays. If you're missing a loved one. I know I dealt with this a couple of years ago when my mom died. You're missing a loved one. You're whatever you're dealing with emotionally. So you've got to work on that and really control that and don't eat to soothe your emotions or your stress. And that's what a lot of people do. Figure out something else. If you absolutely cannot control yourself in eating over that, then choose healthy things like celery sticks and apples and carrots and things like that are healthy for your body. Because your body, when it's stressed, it uses up more nutrients and creates an oxidative environment. So you want to make sure and really replenish with the right stuff. Avoid temptation. How can you avoid temptation? Walk away from the food. Don't hang out talking to people around the table of food. Walk away and remove yourself from the temptation. That is huge. And juice fast, so we go back to that, one day a week during the holidays especially, because again, it resets everything for you. And it gets your stomach to shrink, because when you eat a lot of food, your stomach expands and you want more food. So if you do this juice fast once a week, it'll help get that back down and you won't be so tempted. Relax and enjoy the holidays. It's really not about eating and indulge. Eat, drink, and be merry, right? It's okay to eat and drink and celebrate in moderation and be merry in excess. How about that? Just make the excess part the merry. Because it's really all about being with family and the people that you love and care about. Focus on that instead of this. Okay, we're going to be done here in 5 minutes. Procrastination. The definition of procrastination is to put off intentionally or habitually the doing of something that should be done. Don't put off until tomorrow what we could and should do today, especially when it comes to our health. I heard this the other day. Procrastination is my weakness. It only brings me sorrow. I know I should give it up. In fact, I will tomorrow. But that's what we do. It's our human nature. I'll wait till tomorrow and do that. I'll wait till tomorrow and exercise. Let's end procrastination when it comes to our health, because what I do today matters next week or next year. Remember that compound effect. Let's not procrastinate. What are the reasons we procrastinate? We're overwhelmed. The project is unpleasant. We think changing our lifestyle is unpleasant. Decide it's going to be fun. Get a buddy. Look at it as an adventure. When we're overwhelmed, don't look up. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. So if you're climbing the mountain, don't look to the top of it at how high it is. Simply look at your next step. That's the key. Perfectionism is one of the reasons we procrastinate. We say, if I can't be perfect with this, I'm not going to do it. Give it up. It'll kill you. Perfectionism is bad. Fear of success, fear of failure. I'm going to be successful and I'll look so great that all the guys are going to be chasing me, kind of thing, right? I know we're all worried about that, right?
Oh, yeah.
Give it up. It'll be okay. You'll be able to fight them off. Or fear of failure. I won't succeed. I didn't succeed last time I tried. Well, try again. It's okay. Failure is not the end and it won't kill you. Just do it and keep trying and doing it until you make it happen. Lack of discipline. The only thing I can say about discipline is get it. If you want to live a healthy life, get discipline. It'll pay off in the end. And negative self-talk. I'm big on affirmations. A couple of affirmations I like about my health, and I'll do this sometimes when I'm riding my bike. Each day in every way I'm getting better and better. Or I am healthy, fit, and whole. Every cell in my body functions perfectly. So I'll say these things over and over to myself. So get rid of your negative self-talk. And no more excuses. You can make excuses or you can make your life better, but you cannot make both. So do you want your life to be better and healthier and you want to have that vibrancy that we talked about? Then get rid of the excuses. As Yoda said, no, try not, do or do not. There is no try. I always told my kids when they were growing up, trying is lying. Trying is lying. There is no try. Do it. Andy Stanley said, remembering that our time is limited provides us with wisdom to know how to spend our limited time. Our time here on this planet is limited. Let's make it less limited, and let's do the things that are going to make us enjoy our time here. Carpe diem, seize the day. Your very life is at stake. And realize nothing tastes as good as thin and healthy fields. Nothing tastes as good as thin and healthy fields. No, it's worth it. That's me on top of the mountain at Machu Picchu in Peru, South America, the lost city of the Incas. Andes Mountains, I can tell you that that climb to the top of that mountain was one of the most, and I was way younger at that point. It was one of the most excruciating things I've ever done. But once I got up there, the view was beyond what I've ever seen to date. So it's worth it. Realize that those on top of the mountain did not fall there. It can be hard and arduous, but it's worth it. So what does your mountaintop look like? What's your view going to be from that mountaintop? That's what you need to think about and visualize and decide that you want and that it's worth it to take the climb. Being healthy in today's world can often feel like swimming upstream. My goal is to help encourage you in that process, to help show you the way, because it is worth it. Be the change you wish to see in the world. You and your family's very life is at stake. Don't delay. One of the ways you show that you love your family is by taking care of yourself. Listen, when I lost loved ones too early, it made me very sad. And I don't want to do that to my kids or grandkids. I have a vision of a healthier world. One where we eradicate the number one killer of both men and women in the United States, cardiovascular disease. I have a vision of a world without cancer. I have a vision of a world where children are healthy and men and women of all ages are healthy, where they have both quality of life and longer lives. I have a vision of a world where families don't have to suffer the kind of loss like several of my friends have who have lost loved ones far too soon. I have a vision of a world that is no longer bankrupt, partly because of the tremendous burden of disease care on our financial system. I have a vision of a world where families spend money on prevention rather than on disease care. I need your help. This will only take place as a grassroots effort. Margaret Mead said, "Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. In fact, it's the only thing that ever has." The example is not the main thing in influencing others, it's the only thing. If you don't take care of your body, where are you going to live? I need your help in setting the example and leading the way with the people in your life so that we can experience this world. People are like sheep being led to the slaughter, but not you. Break away from the flock and experience abundant health and influence and impact your world so that we will all have a better